Hello everybody and welcome back to the Collector's Vault. My name is Mike and today I have something really cool to show you. Let's see what's in the vault. Oh, well. It seems like we have a base set unlimited Charizard. It's in pretty good shape, wouldn't you think? I don't know, what do you guys think? And there's a reason why I'm asking you. The next card is a Ghost Rare First Edition Stardust Dragon. I know I haven't really shown anything Yu-Gi-Oh related recently, but I do want to make some Yu-Gi-Oh videos. But this right now is one of the like highly sought after Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the game right now. It's not really being played per se, but it's just a really cool looking card. And the Duelist Genesis is the set that this card came out of, and there was no first edition booster boxes for this set. You could only get first edition Duelist Genesis cards from, I think it was the sneak peek packs and some tins that came out. And so yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh has first edition cards too, as well as unlimited. So why am I showing you these two cards? Well, it's because these cards came back from PSA. Here's the sleeves that they came back in. And if you realize, these are not in any kind of PSA, case. The reason is because I did something really stupid, and I'm telling anybody who's going to send cards out, I would highly recommend don't really do the minimum grade thing, where I was so confident that this was going to be a 10 and this is going to be a 10. Like, I just, for even 9s, I was acceptable with. So I put the minimum grade as a 9 for these. And apparently these came back and these were not 9s. And they're technically an 8 or less. And it baffles me that there's something wrong with these. I didn't even show you the back of this. Like, there's something apparently wrong with this. And, like, maybe I can kind of understand that there might be, like, I don't see it right now, but, like, the smallest bit of whitening. But these didn't even get 9s. And it's very unfortunate. So, I definitely want to say, if you ever do send cards out to PSA, I wouldn't really recommend doing the minimum grade thing. Especially because I got charged for it. And I understand that, like, they're still doing all the research to look at the cards and give them a grade. But when it comes to put them in the actual case, they won't do it because it was below your minimum grade requirement. But I mean, if they're going to charge you anyway, I might as well just get them graded. That way I know what PSA thinks they are. So that was a bit of a mistake on my part. I'm never doing that again. Now, moving on, these are the cards that did come back from PSA. Yeah, I hope to do more videos like this on here, where I show you some of the cards I get back from PSA. Me and my buddy Pete sent out, we sent out like less than 20 cards together. Yeah. But it was definitely a fun little experience for the two of us to do it together. And some of the cards, they definitely didn't come back as high as I wanted them to. So I want to just kind of show you guys exactly how PSA grades. I also just want to show you the cards I sent in and what the results were. I'm sure it's kind of exciting for you guys. And I want to show just how surprisingly consistent the PSA can be. And well, I definitely would recommend them. So I only sent in 2 Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It was the Stardust Dragon and the Cyber End Dragon that I picked up not that long ago. And I paid like a fair amount for it just because I knew I believe how flawless the card was. And if you see any little dirt here, that's from the casing. But yeah, this came back at 10. Now, unfortunately, this is the only 10 that either of us got back. So I was very disappointed that none of my other cards got 10s, nor did my buddy Pete's. He had a few that he was really like looking forward to getting as 10s, and the same for me. But this is the only one that got back as a 10, which I'm very happy about. Very happy this did come back at 10. It definitely will help it fetch a premium. But again, this is the only, like, technically the only Yu-Gi-Oh card I got back today that was graded. We're going to move on to some Pokemon cards because the rest are all Pokemon. This is actually my favorite, the Blastoise. I'm going to hide these cards so that way you don't spoil the grades. So this is actually the first Blastoise first edition I ever owned, and I got it actually in a yard sale. I was very fortunate to find someone who had it, and I don't even want to tell you what I paid for it. It was basically nothing because it came with a whole box full of Pokemon cards too. So definitely an amazing pickup. And I could tell that the card definitely wasn't, like, perfect. I could tell that there was maybe, like, a little bit of whitening on the edges. I think you might be able to see... I know I saw some whitening somewhere. Yeah, I think, like, in that top little corner over here. And on the front, I thought, it's pretty good, but the centering was off. You can kind of tell that it's not exactly, like, centered. I think it's hard to tell. I think this is thicker. The yellow here is thicker. This is thinner on the right. But so yeah, it came back, and I was surprised it actually came back in 8. And that's the highest grade that I was hoping. I mean, obviously, I'd love for it to get 10, but I knew it would never get a 10. And a 9, I felt was, out of the range, but it did come back in 8, and I think this is a good specimen of what an 8 can be, considering that the card is technically, it has bad centering, which I'm pretty sure knocks it off a point. And I think there is, like, again, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but there might be some whitening up in this corner right here. The glare might be pretty bad. I know I saw, like, another little speck down here, maybe. But I guess those might have taken off a point. And then the front's pretty good, too. I don't think the front, besides the centering, I think the front's pretty flawless. Maybe there was, like, a scratch on the hollow that I didn't quite see. But, again, very happy they came back in 8. Now, this is probably one most people were looking forward to. This is the Charizard that I picked up not that long ago. And I knew it wasn't the best shape. You can kind of tell right here. Plenty of whitening on the back. You got some little dick down here, little nick over here. So, what do you guys think this card came back as? The front actually was pretty solid. This is why I picked the card up. I mean, you can tell, like, there's definitely some, like, some edge wear here. A little bit on top. Right there in that right corner. So it definitely has a lot of blemishes. The front would seem pretty, besides the corners, the front seemed pretty clean. Anybody want to take a guess? To be honest, I was even thinking this card might get, like, a really low grade for just how bad the back was. But it actually came back a 5, which is not, nothing remarkable. But I actually was pretty happy. 6 was the highest that I was expecting from this card. Because I've seen some pretty clean 7s, and I knew this would definitely never fetch a 7. If this got a 7, I would have been like floored. But a 5 is the second best kind of result I could have asked for it, and I'm actually pretty happy because I really didn't spend a lot of money on it. So it coming back a 5 is pretty good to add to the vault. I actually don't remember what's next on the list. It might be the Nidoking. Okay, almost forgot about this. And I picked this up not that long ago either. And also, this card was, definitely seen some love. You can kind of tell in the top right corner right there. So there's some edge wear. I think here in the bottom right corner, you can tell there's definitely some, like, silvering the edge wear, whitening. On the back, definitely noticeable on top. On the sides. But again, I didn't really pay much for it. I just really wanted it. I mean, I love picking up any first edition Pokemon cards. So what do you guys think this came back as? Would you believe that this... I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I think this card kind of has similar blemishes to the Charizard. And it did come back a 5, just like the Charizard. Which I'm a little, I was kind of hoping to be a little bit higher. But again, for what I paid for it, this is an amazing investment. I'm very happy I picked it up. Even for a 5, it's, it's not the worst, not the best, but still pretty cool. This is a new thing. I think the next one was the Alakazam that I picked up. And yeah, here's the Alakazam. I got this actually in the same purchase as the Nidoking. They kind of came together. That's kind of why I got, like, a huge discount for them. Again, the front of this Alakazam actually looks pretty clean. I don't think there is any, like, real whitening or problems on the top. The bottom might have had a few things, like actually no. I think the front did look pretty clean. Maybe it was the back that had the whitening I thought I saw. Yeah, you can kind of tell it's a little bit. You can tell the whitening on the top. Definitely a good little whitening down here on this side. That's a pretty bad corner too. And on this, right there, has some whitening. So, do you guys want to take a guess on what this got? Well, fortunately, it actually does look a little bit better than the Nidoking and the Charizard, and for that, it did come back a 6. Again, not the best, but definitely not the worst. I was really hoping for this to get a 7. I thought this could pass as a 7, but, you can't always get what you want. But I'm very happy with this. Just to, I'm always happy picking up Pokemon Base Set. Okay, I forget what the next one is. Ah, well, that gave it away. Okay, so this is a card I was very, very, very happy to pick up. And I might make a whole video about this. Because this is basically like a promo card that has multiple variants. And there aren't that many videos on YouTube talking about it. I think it's just like a handful. But I definitely want to go into depth with this card. If you haven't guessed from the background, this is actually an Ancient Mew, which is a promo that they handed out for the Pokemon movie. Now, you can probably tell that this one does not look like the average Ancient Mews that most people here in the United States might have. I think, and in Europe too. This is good. This is actually the Japanese version of this card. This is known as Ancient Mew #1. And no, there is an Ancient Mew 2, but no, it's not Mewtwo. It's just there was basically three versions of the card. This being #1. Ancient Mew #2 actually looks just like the one that we have. Again, I wish I kind of had a sample of it with me, and I don't have it. And then Ancient Mew 3 is the one that we actually is the one that we received. The biggest indicator is that right down here, you see how this says there's the copyright dates, Nintendo, Game Freak. The one that we have over in the United States, it has the different hologram. And it also has Wizards in the bottom right corner, indicating that it was printed by Wizards of the Coast. So this is actually the very, very, well, I was about to say the very, very first. That this is Ancient Mew 1, but this is not the first print. The very first print, actually, again, I'll discuss more of this in my Ancient Mew video. It's kind of hard to see, but Nintendo. There, it's a little better. See, this is spelled Nintendo, spelled correctly. The very first print of this card actually had Nintendo spelled wrong, where I think there was an N missing, so it just said Nintendo. Yeah, the N before the D was missing, so it said Nintendo. And then very late in the print run, they printed a corrected version, which is what this is. These are the hardest kind of Ancient Mew to come by. So I was very happy to pick it up for, I'll be honest, pennies on the dollar. I feel bad, but I think the guy just didn't know that he had it. I recognized this was that super hard to find Mew. He had it because he actually bought the magazine when the magazine came out from Japan, and he has the magazine under glass. I kind of wish I picked that off him too. But so this card was under glass, and he had this card under glass apparently ever since he got it. And what do you think this card got? It actually looks pretty flawless, doesn't it? And it should be if it was under glass all its life. Even when I picked it up, I only took it out of glass to put it in the sleeve to go to PSA. So, what do you think it has? It's a 9. This is one of the cards I was so confident would have been a 10. And to be honest, I mean, a 9's pretty good, but man, a 10, I honestly can't even find any online. I think they're almost non-existent. But apparently, according to PSA, they have graded 10 to this card before. There just aren't that many of these out there. It's kind of interesting to see this little black line going across it. I found that going to be kind of interesting. I didn't know if that's like a. It's not a scratch. I'm not quite sure what that little line going across is. You can kind of see it right here. I wonder if that's why I got a 9. Maybe I can set in for an appeal, because I think this is a flawless 10. But either way, really cool to have this. The super hard to find Ancient Mew corrected version. Let's see. I actually don't know what this one is. This might be the Charizard. Yes, this, everyone, is my reverse holo Legendary Collection Charizard. Picked this up last year, and again, I thought it was flawless. I was really, really hoping that this would score a 10. I mean, I really didn't see much wrong with it. You could probably make an argument. You know what? That little bit of whitening right there might have been what done it, because I was very, very disappointed that this beautiful card came back a 9. Still amazing. I'm very happy to have this. I really don't see these very often. I mean, I honestly really do enjoy that reverse holo shine on it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, this is another great thing I was happy to add to the vault. The last two are some other really cool ones. These are my shining cards I sent in. Let's see. This is I wanted to do this one last, but here's my shining Charizard. This is probably one of the most disappointing cards I got back, and you'll see why. Because on the front, it looks pretty solid. I don't really see a little bit of a nick right there. But besides that, the front looks pretty clean. The back, I can definitely understand. It has it's kind of rough. Got some whitening up here. The edges don't look perfect. Yeah, some whitening right there. And on the bottom. Now, I was kind of hoping this would get a similar grade, kind of like my kind of like the Alakazam. I thought this maybe would probably get like a 6, but for some reason this card actually came back a 4, and I'm really bummed because, like, I mean, it's still, again, for what I paid, I paid like nowhere near what this card's worth, but like I was really bummed out that even a 5 would have been better, obviously, but like I didn't expect a 4. I'm a little bummed, but hey, very cool. It's you know, first edition Shining Charizard, so very nice. Just to wrap this video up, the last one is another Shining card. My Shining Mewtwo, also first edition. Actually got these two together. This one, I thought this was actually in worse condition than the Charizard. Let's see, you see the top right corner that there's not perfect. I think even that corner is not really that perfect. But again, the front looks pretty clean. I didn't think the front was anything, you know, not that bad, no scratches or anything. The front had no scratches. The back, I could definitely, you know, I remember there's some whitening on the corners. It's always the back. That blue, man, it whitens up so easily. But personally, I thought this actually looked a little bit better than the Charizard. Or excuse me, maybe it's just at first glance, but I don't know why. I thought this looked worse than the Charizard. Maybe I was just fooling myself because I wanted the Charizard to be better. But fortunately, this did come back a 6, which is better than a 4. Again, I wish this was a minimum of 7. Because I thought, I mean, to be fair, I didn't think this was going to come back as like an 8 or anything, or a 7. But seeing this come as a 6 made me think, like, you know, this kind of looks like it could have been a 7, potentially. But I guess there was just too much whiting on the back, and I guess I'm just, you know, got my hopes up. But yeah, very nice. Shining Mewtwo, first edition. Very happy to add this to the vault. Alright, guys, so just kind of want to show you what PSA, you know, kind of just want to show you what I got back from PSA. It's kind of cool. I also wanted to show you exactly, like, you know, how they grade their cards, like, you know, what they believe are 5s and 6s, which did kind of seem to be kind of consistent, although I wasn't really happy with this 4. I guess maybe I'm just being biased. You can kind of see how clean cards are that are 9s, but sadly not 10s. And, well, here's the 10. And this is not Pokemon cards, so it's not really the best example for these, but you can see that this card is pretty flawless, and they did, you know, they were generous enough to give this a 10, so I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. As far as these two go, I don't know if I'm going to send them out to get regraded. I mean, I really wish they did come back graded, but I don't know. I'll have to think about that. So, if you guys like what you saw, you know, please let me know what you thought down below in the comments. If you ever want more videos about PSA stuff, I'll gladly try to, you know, talk more about it. And so, I think that's it for now, guys. Take it easy.